There's a lot to unpack following Thursday's FBI raid. Fox 45 News has been working for you, taxpayers, investigating how your money is being spent. And we're taking you through all of the angles of our investigation, starting with Mackenzie Frost.
We're learning the FBI made more than a dozen raids last week, including the one at the Belair Edison Safe Streets site. Now, at least one person is facing state-level charges, and that Safe Streets location not operating. Law enforcement experts say questions could soon be coming for Mayor Brandon Scott and other leaders about where the oversight is for this program. Federal agents showing up at the Belair Edison Safe Streets site Thursday morning. But it wasn't the only spot the FBI raided. David Caldwell, the supervisor at that Safe Streets location, also got a visit by the FBI that morning, outlined in these charging documents. The FBI seizing documents, laptops, and USB drives, along with drug packaging material and a magazine with 9 live rounds of ammunition. That ammunition leading to Caldwell getting charged with a state-level crime.
It's a wide-ranging investigation.
Tyrone Powers, a former FBI agent and law enforcement expert, says hitting 15 locations in one day signals the FBI is looking at a pretty big investigation, and that decision to raid was strategic.
It's to make sure that if you hit one location, evidence is not being destroyed or removed at another location.
Powers says there's a chain of command that had to sign off on the raids before agents started knocking on doors, meaning this investigation has been in the works likely for some time.
They have developed enough information where they were able to convince a supervisor and the special agent in charge of the local FBI office and FBI headquarters that there's enough to move forward, to dedicate more resources, because this will be significant enough in the end that it will justify their involvement.
Given the Belair Edison location is currently closed, 3 employees are on leave, and at least 1 person is charged, we continue to demand answers from Mayor Brandon Scott. Tuesday, we sent new questions to him asking, given the FBI raid and history of issues with Safe Streets, do you have any plans to halt the program citywide? I understand the Belair Edison location is currently inactive. Who made that decision? How long will the site be closed? Are you prepared to provide an outside audit or investigation of the Safe Streets program? The mayor refusing to answer. And it's not just Mayor Scott facing questions. We also asked the mayor's office of neighborhood safety and engagement several, including, is Monzi staff directly or indirectly involved in the hiring or referring potential candidates to the community-based organizations? Are the employees at the Belair Edison location suspended with or without pay? If without pay, where's that money going? Monzi only providing answers to the questions about hiring practices, saying the agency provides technical assistance to the nonprofits, but employees are hired by the nonprofits after multiple rounds of vetting and passing a hiring panel that consists of the CBO, Monzi, Baltimore police, and members of the community. Those other questions ignored. As federal agents continue investigating Safe Streets, Powers says it's possible other people like Mayor Scott and those responsible for oversight will face questions too.
Maybe not from a criminal standpoint, but they certainly will be questioned as to what things are put in place and why this was allowed to happen.
So far, the FBI has not questioned Mayor Scott or Monzi leadership. Possible questions about oversight for the Safe Streets program is really the heart of what we've been asking city leaders for years. And now those same Baltimore city leaders are staying pretty quiet. In the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
Well, Fox 45 News is committed to tracking down how your tax dollars are being spent. Let's take a look at what we know about how Safe Streets spends your money. LifeBridge Health and Catholic Charities are the 2 community-based organizations that run the Safe Streets locations. The city sends millions of your tax dollars to those 2 organizations to fund the program. LifeBridge runs the Belair Edison office at the location the FBI raided last week. And we have a number of questions for the group's board and its vice president of violence intervention, Adam Rosenberg, because we want to know more about the city's role in these programs. Let's begin with the questions we have sent Mr. Rosenberg. When did you first learn about the FBI investigation? What, if any, knowledge of possible criminal activity at Belair Edison do you have? Have you initiated an investigation at Belair Edison and other LifeBridge sites? Are you concerned the lack of accountability regarding Safe Streets and the FBI raid will cause negative consequences for your reputation? When will you open the books on all Safe Streets operations? Are the suspended employees receiving pay? If not, will you return the taxpayer dollars to the city? We also have questions for the LifeBridge board. We sent the following questions to them.
When did you first learn of possible criminal activity at Belair Edison? Who actually approves the hiring of Safe Streets employees? Who trained the employees at the Belair Edison site? What were the programs, training, curriculums that were used? Can you please provide the names and backgrounds of the suspended employees?
And now to Living Classrooms, another key to figuring out what's going on at the Belair Edison location. The nonprofit used to run that site before the mayor announced structural changes to the program at the end of last year. Here are the questions we sent them. Why did you decide to remove yourself from Safe Streets? Why did you remove yourself from the Belair Edison site? How many taxpayer dollars are you still receiving for any and all activities that relate directly or indirectly at Living Classrooms? Are you now involved directly or indirectly with the FBI's investigation of Belair Edison Safe Streets? What was the process of recruiting these individuals? Did you run ads or were they referred to you from city agencies? How did you find these candidates? Well, Living Classrooms did respond to our questions today. It says it did not decide to remove itself from the Safe Streets program or the Belair Edison Safe Streets site. Instead, the city made the decision to transfer oversight to LifeBridge and Catholic Charities. It also says it is not receiving any public funding for activities related to Safe Streets, and it is not involved with the FBI investigation into the Belair Edison Safe Streets site. Living Classrooms goes on to say, quote, the recruitment and hiring process for all Safe Street sites is led by Monzi and engages stakeholders, including Monzi. It says we should ask Monzi for more information about the hiring process. Now, Fox 45 News has reached out to Monzi about Safe Streets hiring practices, and they've told us while the office has a hand in the screening process, they do not hire for Safe Streets, and Safe Streets workers are not city employees. We're also pressing City Council about the oversight of Safe Streets. Most members of the City Council support an audit, but right now do not support an independent investigation of the program. The Council can play a big role in figuring out what's going on, so we sent all members of the City Council the following questions.
Should city funding for Safe Streets be suspended until there is an audit or investigation of the program? Do you trust LifeBridge and Catholic Charities with your tax dollars? Given the history of criminal activity in Safe Streets and now the FBI raid, do you support halting Safe Streets activity until an independent investigation or audit of the program? Given the FBI and your organization's refusal to engage with the media, is it time to open the books about the Safe Streets operation?
Some council members have been questioning Safe Streets for months, including this FBI investigation in the wake of the Brooklyn Day mass shooting this summer. Other council members standing by the program.
Should they be audited? Again, it clearly lacks the hands-on oversight that the mayor and the administration should be providing.
When anyone breaks the law, when they do something wrong, we should come after them, whether they're an employee, a city employee, or just a private resident. And that's what I see the federal government is looking to do. And we'll stand by to participate and see how this investigation goes.
Monsi is a city agency. It is right here in City Hall, and so an agency like that should just be part of the agencies that are audited.
They've been able to bridge relationships and rapport building that police officers have not been able to broach, public officials have not been able to approach, and so I really think that we really need to reframe the conversation about the legitimacy of Safe Streets.
Well, Fox 45 News is committed to figuring out what's going on with this program for you, the taxpayer. Now, we want to hear from you. Should the Safe Streets program be stopped pending an investigation or audit of the program? So far, 97% of people who voted say yes. You can weigh in at foxbaltimore.com/vote. Fox 45 News has sent more than 30 questions in the past few days trying to get to the bottom of what's going on. You can read all of our questions and find any answers we get on our website, foxbaltimore.com. I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.